There are moments in life when the weight of existence feels unbearable, when dreams seem too far away and the world appears deaf to your cries. For some, it happens at a breaking point, when hunger gnaws at the stomach, when loneliness hollows the soul, when every step feels like a step into nothingness. This is not just the story of one beggar. This is the story of a human being who started with innocence, who faced crushing storms, and who discovered the truth that a change of mindset can transform not only a life, but the world around it. If you have ever felt broken, forgotten, or too small to rise again, then this story is for you. Once upon a time, in a dusty corner of a forgotten village, a child came into the world. Born to a poor family, he had no wealth to inherit, no privileges to shield him from the harshness of life. What he had were eyes full of wonder. He would sit under the sky and trace shapes in the clouds, believing they carried hidden stories just for him. The rustling of leaves felt like whispers of secrets only he could hear. His laughter was pure, untouched by the struggles that surrounded him. Poverty had taken away much, but it could not steal his childlike imagination. But childhood is fragile, and innocence does not last forever. Hunger began to carve itself into his bones. Nights became longer when the stomach was empty. The child who once dreamed of endless skies now stared at cracked walls, listening to his parents argue about food, survival, and the weight of tomorrow. Slowly, his tiny shoulders began carrying burdens far too heavy for his age. As he grew into a boy, he started helping his father, working in the fields, carrying water, doing anything to earn a single coin. Each day was a battle against exhaustion. School became a luxury he could not afford. He watched other children run through the village with books in hand, their laughter echoing like a reminder of the life he could not have. And yet, deep within, the flame of dreaming had not completely died. He told himself silently, one day, somehow, life would be better. But life has a way of testing those who dare to hope. His father grew ill, unable to work. His mother's eyes turned hollow from the endless struggle of trying to keep the family alive. And so, as a teenager, he was forced to take on the role of provider. He left the village and entered the city, carrying nothing but his will. The city was cruel. The lights were bright, but they illuminated his poverty even more. He knocked on doors, begging for work, but people barely looked at him. His hands became calloused from carrying bricks, his back bent from long hours of labor. He slept on cold pavements, listening to the city roar around him. And then came heartbreak. The young man, weary yet still yearning for connection, found someone who smiled at him, a girl who gave him hope that perhaps love could soften the sharp edges of his existence. But poverty is a weight not everyone can bear. She left, choosing stability over dreams. Her absence shattered the little strength he had left. Nights became darker. The pavement felt colder. His heart, once alive with possibilities, now whispered only despair. He fell into a spiral, becoming the very image he once feared, a beggar. Hands outstretched, eyes lowered, waiting for strangers to toss him scraps of food or a few coins. Children pointed at him, parents pulled their kids away. He was no longer seen as a person, only as a shadow that lined the streets. But life, in its mysterious way, never closes every door. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire and sorrow, the beggar wandered into the outskirts of the city. His feet, blistered and tired, carried him without direction until he stumbled upon a quiet riverbank. There sat an old sage, his presence calm, his eyes reflecting the depth of countless storms survived. The beggar, too exhausted to speak, collapsed near the water's edge. The sage did not offer him food. He did not offer him money. Instead, he simply allowed silence to speak. In that silence, the beggar's pain poured out, not in words, but in the heaviness of his presence. The sage pointed toward the river. The beggar watched as the water flowed relentlessly, carving its way through rocks, shaping valleys, unstoppable in its persistence. Something inside him shifted. He realized he had lived his life believing he was powerless, trapped by circumstances, defined by poverty and rejection. Yet here was a river, facing obstacles far greater than itself, yet refusing to stop. It flowed not because it was strong, but because it refused to surrender. That night, lying beneath the stars, he replayed his life. Every failure, every heartbreak, every moment of despair. And for the first time, instead of asking, "Why me?" he asked, "What now?" Days turned into weeks, and the beggar began to change. Not his surroundings, not yet, but his mind. He stopped stretching his hand out for scraps and began using those hands to work again. Small tasks at first, sweeping streets, carrying loads, cleaning stalls. Work most people look down upon, but he did it with a new perspective. Each coin was no longer just survival. It was proof of his refusal to remain broken. He learned to discipline himself, to wake before dawn, to push through fatigue, to save instead of spend, to listen more than he spoke. And slowly, the boy who was once invisible began to be noticed. Shopkeepers trusted him. Strangers respected him. His posture changed. His eyes lifted. His presence carried weight. The transformation was not overnight. It was painful. There were days he wanted to quit, nights he cried in silence, but he remembered the river, flowing, carving, relentless. And so, he flowed too. Years passed. The beggar became a worker. The worker became a craftsman. The craftsman became a teacher. And one day, standing in the same city where he once begged for scraps, he realized something profound. He was no longer surviving. He was living. And it had nothing to do with wealth, status, or recognition. It had everything to do with mindset. The moment he stopped seeing himself as a victim of life and started seeing himself as the author of his own story, everything changed. The beggar never forgot where he came from. He never forgot the pavement, the hunger, the humiliation. Instead, he used it as fuel. He began helping others who felt broken, sharing the truth he had learned. You are not defined by your failures. You are not trapped by your past. Your transformation begins the moment your mindset changes. The story of the beggar is not just his story. It is the story of anyone who has ever felt small, powerless, or defeated. It is a reminder that no matter how far you've fallen, no matter how lost you feel, no matter how heavy your burdens, your life can change. But it begins not with wealth, not with luck, not with someone rescuing you. It begins with the choice you make inside your mind. You can either see yourself as a victim and remain broken, or see yourself as a survivor and begin to rebuild. The beggar chose the latter, and because of that choice, his life transformed. Life is short, and time is unforgiving. But as long as breath fills your lungs, it is never too late to begin again. The beggar started with nothing, and by changing his mindset, he built a life of meaning, discipline, and strength. So can you. This is not just a story. This is a mirror. Look into it. Ask yourself, what mindset are you carrying? Is it keeping you broken, or will it set you free? Because the truth is simple, yet powerful. Change your mindset, and you will change your life. And now, if this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Carry it with you, live it, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Be the reminder, be the spark, be the reason someone else chooses to start again.